Good evening, everyone. Before we start, if you noticed, June Guns' seat is empty. I think everyone here probably knows we're all kind of a family here in town, but she's in the hospital with a very serious problem, and she'll be there for a while. Staff at the hospital prefers that she have no visitors for at least a week or so. So that's where she's at. The other empty seat, he's in Madison Square Garden enjoying a hockey game. So, but it's some sort of a cancer deal where a friend of his has bone cancer, and this game is honoring. Not honoring, but fundraising or whatever it might be called for cancer victims. So he bought some tickets for this friend of his, and that's where he's at. But he would have been here had we needed another member. But I think he begged Ty to make sure he gets here.
I don't know what would possess him to think I wouldn't be.
Oh, okay.
I'm still a board member, right?
Well, you know, but you did miss 2 meetings. Do I have the wrong
Well,
address?
in 4 years, yeah.
No, I mean the last 2 meetings.
I didn't hear about him. You didn't call me.
Okay.
So
No, I'm just wondering if I got the right address for you. Have you been getting our emails, or?
I haven't got anything recently from you, but I get Richie's. He sends one every day for sure.
Okay. I'm going to divert from the agenda a little bit. We see the ambulance corps is here, and they're here for a specific purpose. Jeff, tell us what's going on with ambulances, or unless you want somebody else to speak for you.
No.
Either one.
I can speak. Just so everybody knows what happened to 386 and 389. We had Joe go down, get the plates, and take out all the radios. He tells me they're in pretty good shape, so that part has been taken care of. I don't think everybody knows, except for the board members, that 385 is now gone. It went kaput on us. It's the hard nose. This is RJ. It's a hard nose start, so if you shut it off, it's done, at least for 2 or 3 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Is correct. It has a hot nose start.
Hot.
And when the oil pressure and the oil temperature is up, if you shut it down, it will not start until it cools down. It is currently at Strictly Ford in Louisville to get looked at.
And so I understand, with no estimate as to when you might get it back.
That's
Yes,
correct.
If it's a simple solution, you might get it back tomorrow. But if it's not a simple solution, we got
Be a long time.
big
It
trouble.
could be a long time. And speaking with RJ, it's not one of those things that you're going to do right away. You would have to work on it. If it's the oil plate, you have to go up, take the engine out,
There's a lot of work involved.
and that's 12 hours in and of itself. So they just got it today. So probably won't start on it today, maybe tomorrow. So
Between you and Pat, I've been pretty well informed, and I
I'm
appreciate
trying to
that.
keep you updated, and Pat, what's going. What we did this past week, from Friday to up to this point to about, I'd say 10, 11 o'clock, we actually had it running the whole weekend. And if you don't know, with a diesel engine, it's just compression that you're running, so you're not burning the diesel gas, as you say, diesel, whatever it's called. So with that said, that's what we did the whole weekend to service the community. With that said, we also have Joe and Cornwall covering for us on automatic response. We've had them down at our bay also. So, and to get back to what we're doing right now, the fly car, he took the radios out of that, took the radios out of 386, took the plates off. June is in possession of them. We are just currently waiting for the insurance company to do what they do, and I'll get into that. But I want to just tell you, for last month, we did do 58 calls. We're currently at 658 calls as of today. So we're still doing what we need to do with Cornwall's help. So under your procurement resolution, I'd like to go to the section 103.4, Article 5A, and go to emergency and get a vehicle. We currently have a guy, Tom that's going to come down tomorrow, Tom McCullough. He's going to come down and do specs with us. He also will give us a loaner. Joe is also trying to get a loaner for us. We're going to look at that one and the one he has currently. He did bring one down on Sunday. Pat couldn't be there, but it didn't fit in our bay.
Did not fit.
No, it did not fit. So nice ambulance. RJ was there. He helped with the measurements and everything. And I have to introduce him because he's our vice president's husband, and he's he's a mechanic up at Bear Mountain, and he has also dealt with ambulance with Stony Point. So he's brought them, he's fixed them, so he knows about ambulance.
Okay.
So I have him along with Joe, Kyle. Like you said, we have good people with us, so that's what we're doing currently.
So what we're going to ask the board and our attorney is if you can buy one under the emergency clause on our purchasing order.
Right, so as we discussed last week when facts were a little different and we had an operable ambulance, I thought it was prudent to go out to bid under the regular processes. With no functioning ambulance in town, I think it would meet the criteria of the emergency. I guess I would need to verify that definitively tomorrow in the office, but I can't see why that would not meet the criteria at this
Okay,
point.
good, okay.
It'll help us tremendously.
So that's a hurdle cleared.
Okay.
Now, that means
Loaner.
that you don't have to go out to bid, and you said you know of a company or
Yeah.
Joe knows. or
AAV,
whatever.
Joe has one.
I'm working with a guy out of, he's down in the city, it's VCI, to be exact, Pat from the town garage actually also contacted him. I spoke to him again today. Right now, he's seeing what they have on the lot as far as a vehicle to purchase, if they have any demos. I basically gave him the request of something like Cornwall's ambulances, and the reason I did that was Cornwall's ambulance actually fits in our building without a problem down here.
Okay.
So by doing that, at least we know the particular ambulance that Cornwall has is the perfect size. It fits in the building. There's no issues with that. He's not sure what they have on the lot. He's going to see what they have. He's also working on the possibility of us getting a loaner. If they're able to get us a loaner, it would basically take for the town to register it and insure it for the value of if they were to sell it. They're basically vehicles that they had traded back in. They keep a certain amount of the good vehicles to loan out. They wouldn't charge us for the loaner for the period we had it or anything else. It would just be up to us to insure it and register it under the town.
And the
Should be no
Department of Health.
problem.
And both of them, so we're looking at both of them to make everybody aware of exactly what we're doing. And with regards to Cornwall covering and our EMTs, what we're doing is having the EMTs first respond. Joe's actually going to bring his ambulance down, which leads us to trying to give them some kind of donation because they're stripping their resources to come and cover us while this ambulance is down. So basically, I'm going to put it out there, they're looking for at least $1,000 a week. So we have a couple things that we have to do to cover the village and the town, so I'd like the board to consider that too.
Okay,
And hopefully we get this loan and we don't have to do that, but they've been so gracious in this last couple of weeks with the accident. They've been outstanding.
well, let me ask this, Joe, I'll ask Joe this question. You bring your ambulance down here and we use it for a week, and you're saying that you'd like $1,000 reimbursement. Okay, how about the patient? Are they reimbursing us or you?
All the revenue, the billing would be going to Cornwall because unfortunately, even if you have our EMTs up here, first respond to a call, the only agency that's able to get, to actually do billing is the transporting agency. The reason Cornwall, and I'm sorry, I'm wearing both double hats right now, officer up here, officer down there. The reason Cornwall's board is looking for this is we also are a hybrid agency. We have paid staff down in Cornwall. In order to subsidize, that way we can make sure you guys are also guaranteed an ambulance We need to make sure we can pay our staffing to come up here. It would be 24/7 coverage. Our ambulance would come up here, stay up here, and do anything we need. The only time they would maybe meet on the top of the mountain is for a shift change for the crews. One rig, our rig from Cornwall can bring up to the top of the mountain, meet up the truck that's covered Highlands, switch out crews. That way there's always at least the one ambulance still in service up here also. I think we've covered 4 shifts up here right now, Brianna?
4 shifts.
4 or 5 shifts up here. It's been tight. We've actually paid staff to come up because obviously it's something that's needed for you guys. We don't want to see you guys down either. But the board is basically saying we're not able to continue to keep doing that because we have payroll we're putting up for the staff.
Okay. One other question then. If ALS comes in,
Yeah,
okay,
They
that's
don't
going to
have
be
any-
an added expense to the people in the town.
So speaking of that, there's a couple ways that can work. If ALS was to get here, say, before our ambulance transported, we could turn that patient over to ALS if it's a true ALS call. That way the patient would only get the bill. The bill would only be coming from Mobile Life. If it's something that ALS may have to intercept us, I'll speak for Cornwall, they don't like to sit around and wait on a scene. So they'll start transporting. Cornwall's the first one that will cancel ALS if they really do not feel they need it. If for some reason they need it and stuff, they might end up calling New Windsor, which is what our ALS provider is. So if that was to happen, it wouldn't be an additional charge on the residents here. It would go under the billing agreement we currently have in Cornwall with New Windsor.
Oh, you do have an agreement with them?
We do have
No,
Similar to...
no, they have agreement with New Windsor. If it's Mobile Life, then our people will be charged. And what we're trying to work on is have New Windsor come here, so our people are not charged.
Okay.
Because they don't have an agreement with Mobile Life. That has to be defined.
Okay.
They don't have an agreement.
We have
with that.
one, though.
We have one.
Okay.
But you don't have an ambulance, obviously, for service for it.
Yeah, right, okay.
We're trying to work up here as much as we can. My board is fully on board with sending an ambulance up here and staffing it. Anything while you guys need it. It's just, like I said, the payroll issues for
Okay.
our end.
So for us, we're trying to get an ambulance at loaner within the next week. We still have to wait for the insurance company to come to transfer those plates. As long as we have those plates and we transfer, then it's just a replacement in kind. Then we don't have to go through the whole rigmarole and all that stuff that has to be done without those plates. So it's like a new vehicle, but if you're replacing a vehicle, as you well know, you don't have to go through that much with DMV. And then it's just insuring either one of those vehicles that we get.
Okay, well, I have to ask the board, do you have any problem reimbursing Cornwall if they, for the next week or so, or?
Hopefully, it's just a
Under the
week.
circumstances, no.
I agree. I think that it's fair.
It's real, honestly,
So, Joe, I
I
would ask you to...
write up something.
Send us a voucher,
Okay,
under $1,000 for a week,
okay.
and $999.
99 cents. Honestly, to be truthful with you, if Mobile Life comes just for 8 hours, you don't want to see that bill.
No, I know,
And they
I know,
will
I know.
not do, they only do 8-hour increments, and they charge you each 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's, not knocking them, that's just the system that they
do,
have.
Yeah, okay. No,
I
ju-
just want, I know you guys understand and stuff. We're not looking to make a profit. We're not making a profit.
Oh, it's understood. I mean, if
We
you've
just
got,
want the payroll covered.
if you've got paid EMTs, that's understood, there's no doubt about it, yeah. So, behalf of the town of Highlands, we appreciate it from
And we said that from us, too. We definitely appreciate what they've done for us.
Okay, and then you've got to go on getting a new ambulance.
Okay.
You're going to have to bounce with us,
Of
bounce with
course.
me on the price.
Without a
with
doubt.
Pat on the vehicle.
Right. Without it, Pat actually said he would sit down with me when we go over the specs and everything.
Good,
and
good,
go-
okay.
And even, Kelly, I did not forget you. Kelly, too, has told me, even with the bidding process, She said it's very tedious, and she would sit down as well as you did,
Oh, yeah.
because it's long and it's drawn out, and the things that we have to do.
If we went out to bid, it'd be a month before we got to the opening up bids.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So it's probably prudent to vote that you will invoke the emergency provision to purchase a ambulance.
Okay. I'll ask for a motion to
So moved.
do what Justin just said.
Declare an
The
emergency,
emergency
declare an
provision.
emergency under the procurement policy to obtain an ambulance.
I have a motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried.
Okay. And also, we've been in contact with Collins and Scofis for grants, and I know it's towards the end of the year, so hopefully they can do something for us also, and replace that money and get 385 out of here, because what we're definitely afraid of, as good as it can be also very bad, and we're spending money behind money behind money with 385. Today, when they were taking it, I actually went inside to get the computer out. It locked on it. One door locked our sliding door, locked on us, and we couldn't get it open. So it's down there. We got the vehicle open because there's a special button, I'm supposed to tell you that, to open all the locks. So we got that open, and that door still wouldn't open. The sliding door still wouldn't open, so it's locked. So they said they would have them check that out too, on top of everything else.
Oh, that's on the one they got in the... oh,
385,
oh,
the sliding door,
Okay.
just locked. It
Yeah.
will not open, so.
Okay. One more thing before you
Yes.
go. Keeping within the laws of HIPAA,
Yes,
could you tell the general public?
yes, I can tell the general public.
Three people that were injured?
Our one EMT is back. He'll be back this week. Our other EMT is still hurting, and our driver is still hurting. They're both still out. And we're thankful and grateful that they weren't worse.
Very good.
Is anyone still hospitalized?
I'm sorry?
Is anyone still
No,
hospitalized?
nobody's still hospital. Everybody's home.
Okay.
And we appreciate your concern, too, with regards to them.
Okay. Town board have any other questions?
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
If you guys want to,
Oh, you want to kick us out now?
no, you can do it, you can stay for the whole meeting. No, that's fine. And I'll mention, since somebody mentioned Kelly's name, I told her early this morning that she didn't have to be here. There's dedication for you. Thank you, Kelly.
Always. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Justin.
I
Justin.
spoke to you a couple days ago.
Yes. How far along are we? Do I
I
need
haven't
to
done
come to
anything in
your
those couple of
office?
days.
Okay. Because
There's a few things going on in town.
the 5031C is going to help us tremendously, because we can go any place and ask for a vehicle, and they will do it because they can write it off on their taxes. So we're hoping Justin can get that to us. We love you, but we need you.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay, is there any other public comment? Yes, sir.
Jack McCarthy, 55 Burns Avenue. Today, I was up where I'm putting a house together, up on 80 Forest Hill, and Orange and Rockland was there, and they were drilling some poles to go in, and they couldn't get they couldn't get one on my property, but they could get one down on Dave Tonnison's property. And a little while later, I heard that they're not coming back. And it took me 6 weeks to get them there so I can get electric. So I would like to know what is the status with that. That's why I'm at this board meeting.
Okay. I personally am fully aware of what was going on up there.
Oh, you do?
And the
Okay.
reasons. Therefore, from what I understand from Orange and Rockland, as long as the house down below does not have a stop work order on it, they can go ahead and put the electric down to it.
Okay.
So I understand that they'll be back to put the poles in. I didn't hear that from them directly,
Okay.
but indirectly I heard that. So I would say that the situation is being handled.
Okay, because we've been jumping through hoops with Orange and Rockland just to try to get them
I
there.
imagine so, yes.
And,
That's the first thing I thought of when I heard about that there might be a delay in putting the poles in. I thought,
yeah, I mean, we need the electric, if the winter's coming or not. Okay, that's all I really had to know.
And
is,
listen, if you hear anything different than what I'm telling you now, please come to me and we'll get right on it.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Okay, do you have anything? Previous minutes, November the 15th. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Do I have a second? What, were you? Oh, I hope so. Livesey Parry Sullivan. No, you were not, so you can't second it, and we can't approve it. So we'll table that to the next meeting. Communications, I don't really have anything. Financial reports. All right, here I go. We paid from the paying account $194,913 to cover the check run. The large items were RBT CPAs, that's our auditor, $5,000. Ryder, Wienel, and Frankel, $11,275 for legal service. Village of Highland Falls, $147,927 for water charges, and Rockland County Waste, $9,846 for landfill charges. Then we also paid out $182,784 to cover the check run for November 21st. Big items were Campbell Freightliner, $103,667 for a sanitation truck. Just to explain that, that's for the body of the truck, Kelly,
That's for
at which we're getting money
grant for that.
and a grant, so that's part of the payment. I think there's another 60 or 70,000 coming on that. $5,626 for salt. Rockland County Solid Waste, $12,574 for landfill charges. Royal Carting, $2,655 for landfill charges. Teats Asphalt, $3,415 for asphalt, and MVP Insurance, $30,708 for group medical. Now, we have a whole bunch of budget transfers, which I'll go through them, and at the end, we'll approve or disapprove. But while I'm going through them, Richie and Ty, if there's any questions, please stop me, and we'll go on from there. From FICA, audit expense, it's going to audit expense, $3,372, because the audit budget was, the audit was over budget or under budgeted because of the late billing of 2018 audit. Contingent account to legal, $5,000 for unbudgeted legal expenses. The building department consulting to building department equipment, $350 for a new computer. Highway garage other expenses to highway seminars, $727. Seminars were higher than budgeted. Long Pond personnel services to parks and buildings, grounds part-time employment. That was $1,300. for a part-time employee working more than what was budgeted for. Long Pond personal expenses, parks, general repairs, $1,100 for work at Brooks's Park. Long Pond personal services, parks, for a new shed, and it's a new shed put up in the Roe Park field. Or, I don't know if they put it over to Figgins or not. I think it was in Figgins they put it. That's for the equipment they use up there. Planning seminars to planning contracted services, $500. Planner expenses were higher than budgeted. Sanitation landfill charges to sanitation equipment, $1,400. They purchased more garbage recycling cans than budgeted for. And those cans are all sold and reimbursed, so the money comes back in. Cemetery contractual to cemetery part-time grass cutting, $1,350 to move grass cutting from contractual to personal services. Health insurance, retirement, $5,485, retirement expenses over budget. Could you explain that one, Kelly?
Of the retirement, usually what that is the total amount of the retirement expense is correct, but the allocation between the funds was off. And so all the other funds were came in under budget, but the A fund was over budget because the allocation was off.
Okay. Police personal services, police training, and police uniforms, $1,000 from each one of those lines went to vehicle maintenance for tires. Health insurance, retirement, $1,101 retirement expense over budget. Health insurance, workers' comp expense, $1,111 workers' comp over expense. Ambulance personnel services to ambulance billing expense, $5,000 to cover November and December billing. Ambulance personal services to ALS Intercept, $5,000 to cover October, November, and December billing. Sewer chemicals to sewer lab fees, $500. Lab fees were over budget. Water District 1 equipment to Water District 1 clerical, $300 for water billing. Water District 2 personal services to Water District 2 clerical, $2,000 water clerical over budget. And then unclassified revenue, workers' comp expense, $3,510 to move workers' comp revenue to cover expense. Unclassified revenue, workers' comp expense, $8,709. Same reason to move workers' comp revenue to cover expense. And unclassified revenue, DB 9040, workers' comp expense, $3,510 to move workers' comp revenue to cover expense. Any questions on all of those? Any?
So move.
Okay. Seconded by?
Second.
Ty, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, the liaison reports. Before I lose my voice, I'll read Richie Sullivan's narrative. My apologies, Mr. Supervisor, for not attending. A dear friend is being acknowledged at Madison Square Garden tonight at the Rangers Hockey Fights Cancer Night. He attended Colin Schmidt Veterans Ceremony along with Supervisor Livesey, his wife Mary, Joe D'Onofrio, Jim DeSalvo, and Ty King. Congrats to John Finn and Joe Lowery on their awards, and acknowledgement to Ty for speaking at that event, and to Joe D. for presenting the Lowery certificate. The Citizens Environmental Advisory Committee met in November. Ermin, I'm not going to say that name, Slovic, Orange County Recycling Coordinator spoke and presented. Presentation was sent to all of you, and it addresses recommended recycling methods as well as Orange County municipal solid waste and single-stream recyclable logistics. It was interesting to note average single-stream recyclables by weight are 20% of total municipal solid waste in Highlands, where we in Highland. Let me say that again so you understand it. It was interesting to note that the average single-stream recyclables weight are 20% of total municipal solid waste. In Highlands, we average 8%. Olga presented at the center on the 16th in celebration of America Recycles Day a week ago, and Olga toured the recycling facility in Beacon, which is the one we use. He attended a ZBA meeting. They have two matters on the way. The third, and interpretation, had the applicant postponed for a month due to illness. They met. They will meet next on December the 18th at 7 p.m. At least one public hearing on their agenda for a Mine Dock Road property. Highway contract required more than 5 meetings. I thank Bob, Greg Marr, and Rick Jersey for their roles and recommend that we accept the final draft. Dechlorination is mandated to have May 2020 completion date. I recommend we move forward with the lowest bidder promptly. Recalls Assemblyman Skoufis initiated a $125,000 grant for that project. I speak with Bruce daily when phones are functioning. He's talking about you there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I will read the building report for October at the next meeting. That office is swamped with foils, and foil process needs taming. Town clerk and department heads should be point people, not subordinates. I will read October sewer report off at the next meeting and thank Leslie for forwarding pertinent related data. I support Supervisor Livesey's new draft noise ordinance, and I look forward to the process of public hearing and review. Best wishes to everyone for a nice Thanksgiving. Best wishes to June Gunza as well as the Ambulance Corps injured members. Hi.
Wow, that was a lot.
Yeah, but more if he was here.
Yeah. So we miss hearing it from him directly. But I did speak with Richie yesterday, so I understand certainly that's a big deal that he's attending this event down in Madison Square Garden. For me, I didn't have anything from my specific areas. I guess I do for the ambulance corps because I did visit the hospital when one of our members was admitted there after the accident. And I mean, obviously that was a horrific accident, but I want to talk more about the bond that I saw between those ambulance corps members. So 2 of them had already been in the hospital in Newburgh, but yet when they were released, they were at Westchester to give their support to their other injured member. And you could just see the care, the concern, the love between those members. And the only thing that I can be reminded of is the military, you know. So when we have a fallen comrade or we have somebody injured, people tend to rally. And I'm sure the police force is similar. So I just want to say hats off to them. We definitely continue to keep them in our prayers as they continue to recover. Additionally, I'd like to say that, you know, so again, congratulations to the folks who won elections on November 5th. The beauty of living in America is that we have elections, and then we have what's called peaceful transitions. So certainly, as a person who's defended those rights for 30 years in the military, I'm in no way offended at the results. So I'm here to say publicly that I appreciate the honor and the opportunity to serve for the last 4 years. But my clock is still ticking till December 31st. So, Mr. Supervisor, if you don't get me by email, call me.
Okay.
And let me know you need me. Until they get sworn in, it's still my time.
You'll think it's Beverly. I'll call you at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I don't have a problem with that. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Rich?
Just to acknowledge the aggressive project that the village has been doing, sidewalks on Main Street, the repaving of the streets. I think it's finally coming to an end. I saw the lines being painted on Main Street today. There was a lot of drawbacks with the weather, but it seems like it's all coming together, and I think it just benefits the whole community when it's looking better and will look good in the future. So my hat's off to them for tackling that project and seeing it through to completion.
I have to agree with you completely. What amazed me the most had nothing to do with sidewalks or the roads, but that tree in front of the library, my God, that's beautiful.
Yep.
That is beautiful. I can't believe how nice that came out.
And all the trees that have been planted, I think it'll just add to the appearance of the community and will benefit all of us.
Yeah, the village has done a great job. I mean, a lot of good planning and a lot of work.
That's all.
Dechlorination sewer project. As Richie wrote, and as we all know, Justin, did you get a hold of Al, and is he going to set up a meeting for a signing or whatever?
Yep. He's on it. Right, this is step one.
Yeah.
We've got a resolution to award the bid to TAM Engineering based on their second submittal, their reduced price submittal of $299,000.
Okay, so therefore it be resolved that the Town of Highlands Town Board does award the contract for the project to TAM Enterprises for a cost not to exceed $299,000. Be it further resolved that the supervisor and officers of the town are hereby authorized and empowered to make, execute, and deliver, or cause to be made, executed, and delivered in the name and behalf of the town, all such certificates, agreements, documents, and papers as may be necessary to effectuate and carry out the contents of the foregoing resolution and the terms and conditions of the contract documents. Be further resolved that the aforesaid resolution shall take place immediately. We'll have a motion to move the resolution.
Make the motion to move the resolution.
Second.
A roll call, please.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember Perry.
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay.
Aye. Okay, I sent copies of this to, of the proposed noise resolution to Justin, the town board. Justin made has a few suggestions, but we've made kind of a dramatic change in it, and therefore that triggers a need for another public hearing. So,
That's correct. It would be scheduled for December 9th at 7 o'clock if you move this resolution.
okay, and the resolution is to schedule a second public hearing to receive public comments concerning the enactment of a local law adding a new chapter 132 entitled Noise Control to the Code of the Town of Highlands. I'll ask for a motion to move this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Roll
Councilmember
call.
King.
Aye.
Councilmember Perry.
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay.
Aye. The town clerk will have a copy of the proposed resolution beginning tomorrow.
Ordinance.
Ordinance, thank you. Okay, beginning tomorrow. Okay, again, I've sent out the new proposed contract between the town and the highway department. I'll make that simple. There's more to it than, more words to it than that. Richie and I worked on it, and I think we've got it down to where it should be. The union has not approved it, nor have they disapproved it. They haven't approved it as of yet. So if we pass this resolution, it'll allow me to sign the agreement as presented. If they want to make changes, then that's another ballgame, and we'll go back to some sort of a drawing board. I don't anticipate them making any changes, but the rumor mill says there's one more thing they want, but that's too bad. So this resolution is to authorize execution of an agreement between the Town of Highlands and the Town of Highlands Employee Association. This would be from January the 1st, 2019 through December the 31st, 2021. And
That's it. That's all.
that's it?
It's a good summation, yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll ask for a motion to move the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Roll
Councilmember
call.
King,
Aye.
Councilmember Perry,
Aye.
Supervisor Lewis.
Aye. I'll keep everybody informed as to when and if the union signs it. Any business not listed above? We have anything? Anything else? Chief, since you spent your time here for the last hour, do you have anything for us?
Nothing pressing. Happy Thanksgiving.
That's it?
That's it for now, yes, sir.
Okay. Rich, you have anything else? Guy?
I think echoing Chief, I definitely want to also give a happy Thanksgiving to everyone here and everyone at home. And also along the lines of my liaison area, check on our seniors out there because some of people are sick or shut in and alone. And so we have to be mindful of those folks in our community.
Okay, and I'll put my best wishes out there for everyone for Thanksgiving. Kelly, I skipped you over, though, as far as report. You have anything for us?
No.
And Oakley, you're still silent?
More to come.
Okay,
Well, we're going to present a year-end report to you.
good. Thank you, thank you. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Thank you.
45 minutes, you're getting better.